My name is Prashant, and I welcome you in the channel Reliability Odyssey. And today we are starting a very exciting series, and the series is known as the Unheard. And we are talking with all the Maximo experts, Maximo warriors, other reliability experts, SAP experts, any product which is used in EAM space. We are trying to connect with people, and we are trying to take their perspective. So I am very happy that on this first show with me is there Venkat. So, good morning, Venkat, and
Good morning,
welcome to
Prashant.
the channel.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for having me here.
Okay, so we'll start with the questions that I have for you. And
Sure.
the first question that I have is as a starting point. Can you please introduce yourself and maybe can you tell about your experience so far about different products in EM space that you have worked with?
Sure. So overall, let me introduce myself. Venkataraman Guruswamy. You can call me Venkat. So overall, I have 15 plus of years of IT experience. Most of my IT career, I have spent time on Maximo and related products like SAP. Here and there, when we do integrations with SAP and Oracle, but predominantly it was all on Maximo. The initial stage, I basically started as an Actuate developer. So to be frank,
Okay.
I started doing developments in Actuate. The days where we used to have Actuate developer in Actuate
Yeah.
reports in Maximo 6 and Maximo 5. So I used to do Actuate development there, and gradually I did well there. So my team, they said, okay, why don't you go and do proper migration projects in Maximo? Then my first proper Maximo project was a migration project where we had to consolidate 4 to 5 sites in one Maximo. So they had different instances of Maximo, and my job was to lead the team. It was a surprise because within 6 months they made me as a team lead, and they gave me 2 3 freshers, and they said, okay, do this project. So my initiative was to consolidate Maximo into one instance. It was on Maximo 6. Then I gradually moved to customization projects where the customer will give us change request. We have to be really flexible in terms of handling the change request. It was different flavors of requirements. We used to get customization, we used to get integration. So it was a good learning experience in that phase, because earlier I was exposed only to reporting and the core Maximo. Then I got opportunities to work in customization, reporting, integration, and a mix of everything. Then
Okay.
I had, for a couple of years, then I moved to SECD. So I had to switch a job. So I had to move to SECD based integrations. So that was again a different experience, because I was always exposed to the EAM part of it, but this was a different flavor where you deal with incidents, problems, service requests, service catalogs. Then you have change
Mhm.
management, CMDB. So it was a different flavor altogether. So I got a very good exposure for a couple of years in terms of handling incidents, problems, and all that. And
Mhm.
that also with integration, customization. Then I worked on integrations with BMC Remedy, because it was more of a ITSM based domain, right? It was more of service
Mhm.
management. So I worked with other ticketing tools like ServiceNow, BMC Remedy, on all that. So that was another phase. Then I came back to a consulting role where I got exposure to EAM again, different flavors of E&M. So I did bit of pre-sales, I did bit of consulting, and then I traveled to customer site for presentation and all that. Then add-ons. So I got exposure to different add-ons like ACM, scheduler, SAP adapters, and all that. So overall, for the last 15 years, to summarize, I can say I got exposed to different roles and different capabilities of Maximo. Still, Maximo is a big ocean, right? There are many add-ons, and now Maximo Mobile is coming up. So still there is a lot to learn. But in this last 15 years, if I have to summarize, I got exposure to different areas of Maximo, uh, starting from report development to add-ons to upgrades and all that. So I feel I'm I'm kind of satisfied, but still not completely satisfied, because still there are many areas to learn, right? It's a continuous process. So that's my background. So overall 15 plus with different domains. When I say domains, I worked in telecom, then I
Mhm.
worked a bit of oil and gas. Currently I'm in oil and gas. So but in general, I had exposure to transportation, a bit of energy and oil in the past, utilities to some extent. That's my exposure, Prashant.
Perfect. So this is like you have given the all the summary, and when you were saying and explaining all this, I was literally checking the check boxes in my mind. So I can see that you have done a lot, and I believe it is really, really great experience that you have achieved. And I can remember starting from those days when there was no resources. This particular statement which I am giving may be controversial. Some people will say that, okay, no, still there are not sufficient resources, but I am comparing for those days when we guys have started, and then
Correct.
there used
Correct.
to be
Correct.
nothing, no training, right? And
Correct.
going, it's not only functional that you have done, you have also done a lot of things on technical. So I really appreciate, and I believe
Thank you. Thanks, buddy.
definitely you have done a lot of work and experience, and achieve a lot of experience actually. So
Thank
continuing
you.
to
Thank
our
you.
discussion, I have the second question, and this question is basically I am talking from the Tivoli engine standard, because
Okay.
standpoint. Okay, so I am talking about, so it is mostly towards maximo, because but then you have experience on SCCD as well. And this question is towards the versioning and the journey. So if you remember, as you said, from maximum 5 and 6, how the version used to be, how the architecture and things used to be, and now we had 7.6, which was much matured version with so many new capabilities, and then finally now we are hearing since last year about a lot of buzzes around maximum application suite. So I want to know that what are your thoughts about maximum application suite, whatever you have explored so far, and then how is your perspective towards it? How are you looking towards it?
Yes, yes. I'm especially when you said Maximo application suite, I'm really excited because I see this overall evolution of Maximo in three stages. That is how I visualize it. Because the first major jump that Maximo had was between 4 and 6. Because when
Yeah,
it was not with IBM yet, right? It was still with
yeah.
MRO. They had the client server base. Then 4, 5, and 6 was one era. I can say I will split that into
Hmm.
one era, and then the 6 to 7 was a big jump when IBM acquired the MRO company, right? So I will say there was a lot of push from IBM side to inculcate their knowledge, their methodologies, and all that, right? You remember very simple
Hmm.
example: the way that we do config DB was different before
Yeah,
Maximo 7. It's a very simple thing, but that's a very common thing that people use on a day-to-day basis, right? We always used
correct,
to go to the
correct.
command prompt, run config DB, but IBM changed the way. They wanted to make it more user interactive. They brought the admin mode and all that, right? So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is it's a very simple thing, but still it creates a lot of changes in the mindset of developers, right? Similarly, IBM did a lot of push from their side to inculcate their technologies, their domain, their expertise, and they
Yeah.
pushed it one level further, I can say. Then between 7, that's the first jump, I can say. 4, 6, 7 is the first jump, and then from 7 itself they started evolving, right? So then they introduced catalogs. They wanted to make it more, especially in the SCCT world. I don't know why they don't have it in the EAM space, but the catalog features where you can do and
Mm,
add a
yeah.
card, self-service. So they started bringing that kind of features to make it more like an holistic package. Okay, no, EAM is not just a CMMS based kind of application. You can add other things also. You can do ticketing, you can do catalog based, you can do cart additions. Then
Hmm.
there used to be some add-ons, like you can import the packages within the SCCD used to have that module, not like a migration package. They used to have an inbuilt. So it started evolving over a period of time. So 7 is another jump, I can say. 7.2 to 7.5
Hmm.
was another jump, and then
Hmm.
the latest jump, which is the third phase of Maximo timeline, is the Maximo 8. Because that not only changed all these days. What used to happen, the backend architecture used to remain same. It was always on WebSphere or WebLogic, and all that was always same. The way you deploy was always same. But the big push they gave on the infra side is in Maximo 8, where they completely revamped everything. They, after their acquisition of Red Hat, I think they wanted to bundle it together with the Maximo application, and then I think it is a beautiful mix of the core expertise of IBM on the application side and the expertise on the Red Hat side because of their
Hmm.
acquisition. I think they want to give that a big push. So I think now with containerization, and I used to feel when my fellow colleagues are working in .NET and all that, right? They have already moved ahead with Kubernetes, Docker, and all that. So
Yeah.
I used to think, when will the day come for Maximo that we also take up that journey? Because we have to get also skills on those areas, right? So I used to
Correct.
feel, okay, when will the day come? So I think the day has arrived. It's just that we just need to get ourselves equipped. We have to, not only from a technology standpoint but from a skill set standpoint, we all need to learn those new skills. It's a good because it's kind of reinventing the cycle, start from the scratch. It's a learning for everyone in this maximo. Even though we can claim that we have got so much experience for the past 15 years, we have to learn Red Hat, we have to learn all these new things, right? It's a good reinventing of that, and then I think it will be really good exciting journey. So I'm really looking forward, especially I'm going to do an upgrade maybe next year, I don't know, but once we start the upgrade journey, it's going to be really fun and a lot of learning, especially on the learning part, knowledge. I can see always, I mean, already I can see LinkedIn is full of blogs about mass aid, lot of documentation, more communities about lot of collecting documents. I think I'm really excited to that. A lot of learning ahead for all the Maximo community members, I feel.
Perfect. So you mentioned the word, right. So like unlearning now, it's unlearning and then learning phase for us, because yeah, and I believe the idea that IBM had was more towards making it more making Maximo CI/CD friendly, because
Correct.
earlier version of Maximo was not at all CI/CD friendly, and then the release cycles, as you see, if you see, they have released, they have documented now the way they are supporting. Also, everything is it says that they are really committed towards CI/CD, and then yes, as you rightly said, that there is a lot of learning for in front of all of us, and we
Yes.
can definitely achieve. And at least, yeah, for sure, if you will be, for sure, this is something which I have also experienced. People used to say, you are still working with JSP, you are still working with servlets, and we are doing swing. And being a Java developer myself, when I started my career, yes, so for sure we can say we are also doing a big
Yeah.
enterprise app on the Red Hat, OpenShift, and Kubernetes. So yes, for sure. Okay, very interesting. Thank you for the response here. And then I
Sure,
am
sure,
coming to
sure.
my next question. That one is around. I want to know what is your favorite area in Maximo, or I will stick it to Maximo only,
Okay.
because most of our viewers will be from Maximo. So, what is your
Yes.
favorite area? So, you like integration, customization, infra, or something new, like something
Yeah.
different, some new technology?
So
What do you
mostly
like
my
most?
favorite is the integrations because that gives you a lot of freedom, right? Because
Yeah.
you can explore new technologies like, from Maximo 7.2 and 7.3, 7.6.1.3 and all, you can use Kafka. And so my favorite area is integration because I got exposure to SOAP based, then it evolved to OSLC, now then the JSON, then that also gives us an opportunity to talk to when I want to integrate with other systems who are already ahead of us in terms of REST APIs and all that. We were still working with the old REST, SOAP and all, and now we have the
Yeah.
equal platform to engage with other teams, and you can say, okay, we also have REST APIs, I can do
Yes.
what you are doing, and that gives a lot of flexibility, right? Now when we
Correct.
talk
Correct.
about queues, we have also evolved over a period of time, right? We used to be in JMS based queues, the sequential, continuous, and then we moved to web services, then we are talking about Kafka, and then I did a couple of projects where we integrated with Azure Service Bus, then
Mhm.
RabbitMQ. So that gives a lot of opportunities for you to explore and then be innovative in those areas. When and even you had asked about new age technologies, right? So that gives flexibility. But whereas if you work in other I'm not saying other areas are bad, but my favorite is integration because that gives you a lot of knowledge to gain from outside Maximo, because rest of the areas is still within Maximo. Yes, customization is one area which I always wanted to master, but I did not get that much opportunity in customization. But yes, integration is my favorite area, I can say, and you can really
Perfect.
master it, and you can really learn a lot of new things. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I think you are in my clan. I also like integration more.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will go to the next one. The next one is related with. I want to know about. I know you are writing blog. Okay, and then
Correct.
you are generating a lot of content, and I have seen. I read your blog. Even you are one
Thank you.
of the. I am one of the follower on the Substack as well.
Sure.
So,
Thank you.
what has motivated you? Because uh, making the content, yeah, right, and you can do it by yourself and just keep in your head. And then what
Correct.
has motivated you, because it takes time, it needs significant time, yeah, right? And
Correct. Correct.
what has motivated you? And by the way, if you want to tell the name of the blog to the viewers, so that who some if somebody does not know, they will also be able to know. And what has motivated you to create this blog?
Yes, yes, you are right. So I started my blog in Jan 2022. So it's called Maximo and Beyond at substack.com. So the reason I had named it that way is I don't want to talk only about Maximo because that is our bread and butter. Yes, that should
Hmm.
benefit the Maximo community. But I had added the word beyond because I want to talk about other topics which may be of interest. So that is one more reason to have it as maximum and beyond. And the reason for starting, to your question, right? So it's quite funny because when I started my maximo career, I would just want to share a small incident. Like, I was from an engineering background and I was in engineering projects, and in 2008 recession came, 2007 8. And then my boss called me and he said, sorry, there is a recession, we have to remove you from the project, and I'm going to give you a new project because it's just starting, it's called maximo, so are you willing to go there? I said, I'm okay. So I went there, but the initial days in that project was a bit struggling, and I was lost. I was not able to comprehend and all that. But luckily, I had one good guru there. She was a Maximo expert for many years, and she started teaching me from basics, what is actuate, how to do development, and all that.
Mm.
So ever since that time, always I felt. And then when I started learning on my own, I could find resources on the net, how to do this, how to do that. All is available, but nobody really told me how to move my progress, my career, in which direction I should go. Okay, Maximo has so many things. There is technical areas, there is functional areas. Some there are experts who are experted only in upgrades. I had consultants. I used to interact with consultants who were specialized in upgrades. I had consultants who were specialized in reporting. So it looks like a big area, right? I mean, there are so many things. What should I know? What should I learn? It was a bit confusing for me. So at one point, I always wanted to write from the beginning, but I wasn't sure whether I had gained enough experience to share my experience, right? Because you need to wait till a stage to share it to others. You cannot write some crap on the internet and then you cannot do it, right? So I was always waiting for
Correct.
that moment to say, okay, I have gained enough experience. I feel I have worked in certain areas where I can share my experience. So that's why if you see my blogs, it's more career oriented than technical stuff, because technical stuff you can always learn. IBM is very good in documentation. They have very good notes. Now the communities have evolved. You have the IBM community now it's revamped. You have a lot of IBM champions writing content, a lot of IBMers writing content there. So technical content you can still figure out, you can ask your queries, but the career portion of it, it's not going to, unless I share my experience, it's not going to help, right? That's why if you see 90% of my content, I focus on career, which cannot be shared, or it has to be person to person, right? If you come to me, then I can share my experience, but I want to make it in a platform where people is, okay, I am now starting my career as a developer, what all the other options I have? Should I pursue the functional role or should I pursue the technical role? If I have to become a maximo architect, what are the different channels available? In which areas I should master? If I have to become a functional consultant or an SME in maximo, what are the areas I have to focus? So that is the driver, the goal of this blog is to educate the maximo developers and the community, whether they are from a functional background, technical background, I don't care. But end of the day, if they read this blog, they will get a holistic idea of what is maximo all about, what are the different options available, which career I can pursue, what are the, now recently I posted a blog about what are the different types of companies that equip maximo people, right? Because there
Mm-hmm.
are consulting companies, they are service based organization, you work for IBM, so there are different scale of organizations, right? So I'm trying to feed in as much as possible to the community so that they can take an informed decision in terms of how to channelize their career and how to learn certifications and all that. So that's the main goal. That's when this whole thought process triggered, and that is how I'm sharing my knowledge. And I'm trying to collect knowledge from others also. Okay, did you face any challenges? How can I help the community? I do that in my office also. When people come to me and ask for help, I do that. But the goal of the blog is to do more about, to talk more about career. I am going to talk about technical also, but more about career guidance and all that.
That's wonderful, Venkat. So, can you tell me about the challenges that you have faced? Because you have so long career, and then during the career, you have mentioned that how you came from engineering background to IT, and then there were definitely there were some challenges, and then you have channeled them through. And you are also writing the blog. I have noticed you have written some wonderful blog where you have actually tried to concise what this whole Maximo, umbrella is all about. What are the different areas? So do you want to talk about the challenges, and then maybe a suggestion for a newbie who is starting, or maybe someone is coming new in Maximo, as experienced person, how they can also channel through with those difficulties if they have same.
Sure. So, like I said in the beginning, right? So I came from, like you were also saying, coming from an engineering background and then switching to IT and then learning the new stuff. So, like I said, my boss came to me and then he said, there is a Maximo project, go and start with it. So initially I was clueless. Then I started with actual developer and then I didn't know what's next. Okay, what are the okay, I can do development, I can go to the report administration, I can import it. But then what are the other areas? So the initial challenges, what I had was getting an holistic view. So what is Maximo all about? What are the different areas of Maximo? People are saying there is upgrade, there is customization, integrations, because it's a big product. It's a collection of applications and it's a big product suite altogether, right? So my suggestion to the budding engineers who are starting their career in the Maximo world is keep your mind open. I have seen where, why I'm saying this open-minded mindset is required is because when I do interviews, people say, I have not worked in BERT reports. That is one weak area where people don't even want to experiment. They're saying, no, reports, I don't want to go there. So Java customization, yes, I am the first person to do customization. So what I'm trying to say is keep your mind open. Don't restrict yourself to a specific area. I want to work only in this. I want to do this. I want to do that. So don't restrict yourself because Maximo is an ocean. And if you see, and keep that IBM portfolio slide in your mind. I'm not sure if it's available in the internet where they have the core Maximo on the top. If you imagine that blue slide where the core Maximo is on the top, then you have the add-ons. Then you have
Yeah.
new technologies coming up, health monitor, all the purple ones with civil infrastructure. Now,
Yes.
so I cannot go and say, okay, I'm not in civil engineering background. I'm not in the domain. I will not learn Maximo for civil infrastructure, right? So it's not correct. So what I'm trying to say is then you have cloud versions of Maximo, IBM SaaS, then you have Azure, then you have AWS, then there are different flavors. And the challenge in the Maximo career is you will not get opportunity to work in all the areas. That is not going to be possible at all unless you are lucky. And if you are in an organization where everything is possible, then you will get an holistic view. But if you are not in an organization where you will get only bits and pieces of it, then don't restrict yourself. Okay, I'm getting a new opportunity, I'm working on only on change request, that's fine, you will learn something from change request. You are working only on upgrades, that's fine, learn something from there. So but keep learning other areas. And if you're not getting an opportunity, it doesn't mean that only if I get a project with that specific module I will learn it, right? Not necessary. There are other ways to set up Maximo in your local. You can run a simple WebLogic based, just run an EAR in your local. You don't need SMP folder, you don't need anything. You just need a Oracle database or a simple database to import your schema and then just run it in your local environment if your organization allows you to do it. So just run it in your local, learn something. There are a lot of documentation available, a lot of samples available in the internet to practice. Correct. Now a lot of
Yeah.
automation scripts are available, GitHub is available with a lot of reusable codes. So try to explore. That is my first point. So focus on the areas, keep it open minded, right? So that you can get a full view, because as you progress in your career, you have to learn all the areas. I cannot keep doing development forever, right? I need to learn other areas. You may be pushed into a sales role where you have to learn how to do licensing, how to sell a product to a customer. There are different flavors of licensing. The licensing have evolved over a period of time. Initially it was different, with token based it was different, now they are saying app based. So you need to keep in pace with all the evolving things, and only you can do that. The only way you can do that is know everything, all the holistic areas of Maximo,
Yeah.
right? That is my first advice. The second one is don't restrict, I have covered, right? So this add-ons, the main lack of focus, what I feel is people are focused mainly on the main Maximo, right? They are not exploring add-ons. I know it's, again, you need to get an opportunity, but if you get an opportunities, please go for add-ons. Try to learn Maximo
Yeah.
mobile add-ons and all that. The third piece is uh, learn in depth. I would have written in one of the blogs where people, when they come for interviews also, okay, very simple thing, how config db works, right? So they know, okay, if I turn on admin mode, it runs something in the background, it is done, correct? But that is the difference between people working in Maximo 7 and Maximo 6, right? Because in Maximo 6 we understand the science behind it, but over as we progress, things are simplified. The product is evolving to make it much more simplified for the end users as well as for the development community, right? So what I suggest is they should go in depth, understand the science. If it is doing a config db, what all things it does in the background. It creates an access table. What if access table fails? How can you restore it? What if
Yeah.
config? It's a very simple use case. It's a day-to-day thing, but we need to understand it in depth. The science behind what is happening in every stage. There are different flags. What are the change equal to yes, change equal to no? What happens in different flags? What happens if I screw up config db? correct?
Yeah.
How the application goes down, how do I bring it up? So there are different hacks. So learn the hacks to sustain the environment, right? Because in a production environment, my first responsibility is to restore the application, and especially when I am config db is one area where people are scared, right? In when I do big, especially
Yes,
when your
you're right.
schema is like 3TP 2TP, and when you're doing integrity check, and when you're doing upgrade projects, it keeps, and you stare at the screen for some time, it's not running. What is happening? Is the update db happening, or is the config db happening? You don't know. So you have to really be thorough in the concepts. There was an article from Bruno where he talked about repeat flag. It's a very simple concept, but the science behind the repeat flag is, it's not that simple, right? I mean, when you will use a repeat flag, when you will not use a repeat flag. So what I'm trying to do is understand the depth, play with it. So that is my biggest advice I will give, because we all can learn textbook knowledge. What is a ALN domain? Synonym domain, table domain, everybody knows. But
Yes,
when to use what? Application knowledge of when to use what. There are different ways to use it, right? Table domain, crossover domain, all these, there are different when to use a relationship. So application knowledge, learning it to depth is very important for especially the youngsters who are starting their career. So that's what I will say, Prashant.
I think these are very
And do
valid.
your certifications. Do your certifications.
Yes,
Don't skip that step. I know, and especially last point, sorry to interrupt. So the certifications and the IoT badges which are available, I'm not sure about other applications whether they give it for free, but IBM is so nice to give those content free for the community, right? And you can
yeah,
also feel proud of claiming those badges. You can post it in your
yes,
LinkedIn. Even the mass foundation documentations are free. So the community, be active in your community. So open mindedness, learning it to your depth, understand the concept, keep learning, keep upgrading yourself, and keep interacting with communities, because that is the only way you know what others are facing challenges. What is
correct.
this guy saying? What is the other person saying? What is happening in the community? What are the different challenges? And try to help other fellow community members. Don't think that, okay, I may be less experienced to help that guy, I need this much experience to help. Not necessary. Maybe you would have faced those challenges much early in your career, right? I faced a lot of challenges late in the career, but nowadays you might have faced it much earlier. So there is nothing wrong in helping each other, right? So please help the community members and be interactive with the community, complete your certifications, and make use of the content available given by IBM. I think that will be my summary of what you have to do.
Yeah, perfect. I believe you are actually giving some advices which is not only applicable, I will say, for newcomers, but actually for in a line, if I have to say you how to become a good Maximo consultant or be only a Maximo consultant. Because
Right.
whatever you said about very simple example you gave about config DB, okay, this is the first thing that we learn, right? As even if we have a
Yes.
technical stack, we learn. And the people does not know what happens behind the scene, and the people does not know when to use what will impact performance, what will not impact the performance, right? Okay, you know the domain as you rightly said, or you know the relationship, but when to use what is the crux that will be, dividing, and it's keeping you away from the all the herd. And then you, that is the definition I will say, to become a, you should be either a Maximo consultant or you should become a better or good Maximo consultant, right? Because you know behind. So I believe this advice that you have given is very very valid for all the consultants. I can say even for any product, if you are a product
Yep.
consultant, it is not a custom word. It, every product comes with a framework and limitations, and then if you know
You
what
are
is
bound with
happening
those
behind the
boundaries.
scene,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
you have bound with the boundary, and you should know what you are actually doing and what the thing does behind the scene. And this is, I believe, this is a very very important advice that you have given. So thank you very much for
Sure.
your
Sure.
views on that. And I think we have
Sure.
talked enough about Maximo. I want to know about the personal front. Okay, so I want to know at least
Sure.
what are the, I know you have worked a lot in Maximo, you are Maximo guru, but then I want
No.
to
No.
know about the hobbies. Okay, what do you do in your
Yeah.
favorite time other than giving interview to me on Reliability Odyssey? What are the other
Yes.
hobbies that you have?
So I don't have specific hobbies, like I don't have anything specific. But off late, at least for the last couple of years, I have started focusing more on health, especially after COVID and all that. So I have started talking more of, I mean, I have started exploring more of how to keep myself fit. So I have started playing badminton and any sport. I used to do cycling with my colleagues in the past, but they have relocated to different places. And my close friend who used to cycle with me is busy now. He got family commitments. But I used to do cycling, so more into sports, I can say. So to
Okay.
keep myself fit, because as we grow older, we have to take care of our health, and especially with a lot of things happening around us, and with COVID was an eye opener for everyone, right? So especially when you are an IT, you put a lot of desk work, a lot of keyboard hours you have spending. So it is important, and this is another advice I will give to all the people, right? So don't ignore your health, because that is your primary thing. Because if you don't have good health, you cannot become guru in anything. So
Yeah.
health is important. So please practice something whichever you like. Go out with your friends and spend at least 1 hour a day, 40 minutes a day on health. Be health conscious. So I've started focusing on that. So be it my diet and all that, so I'm trying to focus on the that is my main focus as of now. Apart from that, my blogging is there, so I try to write something so that it is of interest to the community, and that's it. I have 2 kids, so try to spend time with my family.
Okay,
So that is my
great,
main
great.
thing.
Great to know. So I think it was a fantastic session and very enriching discussion, right? And then thought-provoking inputs that you have given to me. So I'm really thankful that you have
Sure,
spent
sure.
your time on a weekend with me, and and giving so many good inputs. I believe whoever will watch this video will have definitely some takeaways, in whatever
Sure, sure.
points we have discussed today. So
Sure, sure.
thank you once again, and I would really appreciate what you are doing. And as I said, I am a follower of your blog, so please keep
Sure,
writing,
sure, sure.
please keep spreading
Sure,
the all the knowledge that you do. So thank you
sure,
very
sure,
much.
sure.
So to all the viewers, I hope that you have liked this session with Venkat, and I hope you have some good takeaways from the session. So I request that you like this particular video, and then you share it, and then obviously subscribe the channel Reliability Odyssey to see some more exciting content. And this series hopefully will go on, and we will have some more experts and colleagues, and we will talk some fun things with them, not only Maximo, about them. So looking forward to connecting you with all. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
watching
Thanks.
this video,
Thanks,
and
Prashant.
thank you again, Venkat. Thanks a lot.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thanks for having me on this wonderful session. Thank you.